So, did you guys know that 1 in 4 Americans have shown signs of clinical depression? And that is a staggering number because 25% of people, so 1 in 4 people, actually show signs of depression. And it is an epidemic today because mental health is such an important issue in today's society. Some symptoms of clinical depression are people who suffer depression often experience changes in their daily lives. So depression basically alters and it changes these people's whole lives. From the beginning of their day to when they lay their head down to sleep, they're often experiencing feelings such as sadness, loneliness, helplessness, less energy, and oftentimes, in many cases, people can lose sleep because of depression, as well as changes in appetite. Many people experience weight loss and health issues due to depression because they are not eating enough or they don't have the energy to get up, and so on and so forth. Depression can be caused by a number of things, and the main overlap, like the main point I want to talk about, is stress. And stress is one of the biggest issues that you'll find commonly in these 4 examples, and it's not limited to this. Depression can be caused from, again, a range of things, but these 4 things are basically dependent on stress. So employment problems. So if you're having trouble at your job or you're having trouble with your boss or a coworker or something like that, this can affect your mood and often put stress on you, and that stress is unwanted, and strain on relationships. That can also cause stress, and that's why I said stress is the main point in depression, because all of these sudden things start falling on you and people don't know how to react. So that's why they tend to fall into depression. Drug and alcohol abuse, this is another big factor. People tend to fall into depression and become depressed and want to end their lives because of drug and alcohol abuse. They underestimate the effects that it has on their body, and these long-term effects aren't healthy for your mind. Suicidal thoughts or attempts. Many people feel lonely and they feel like they have no purpose to live. So these suicidal thoughts and attempts do affect your mood, and they will change the way you act and you approach your everyday life. And some effects of depression. The effects of depression, again, like I said, put a physical and mental strain on your body. So the mental part is really the scariest part, I want to say, because that mental part will affect your physical appearance and the way you look and the way you talk and the way you move throughout your daily life. Now, some effects are high risks of heart attacks, so it puts strain on your heart. And again, the stress is what causes, your heart to malfunction or have a greater risk of a heart attack. Weight fluctuations, like I said, people who feel depressed, they do not feel the need to eat. They ignore everything else because they're so focused on, why am I feeling this way? This is a common question that they ask themselves, and how do I stop myself from feeling this? And this is what leads them to suicidal thoughts and et cetera, et cetera. Fatigue, you could die because of depression, and you could be very, very, very sick due to depression. So depression can cause you to mentally deteriorate and physically deteriorate. So you can lose your physical health and your mental health due to depression. A weakened immune system, you're more vulnerable to sickness because you are less careful about what you're putting into your body and how much nutrition your body needs in order to succeed or nourish. There are many methods of coping with depression. Everybody has their own way. Everybody approaches things differently, but it is a process. That's the most important thing to understand. The depression is a process. And it is important to surround yourself with positive influences, people who will show you love and care and fill that void of loneliness and that sadness that you have inside of you, and turn that into a positive influence. And also, many people, they ignore taking medication because they believe that medication is not the most effective way to combat depression, whereas studies have shown that depression is a lot more easily managed when you're taking medication. So the benefits outweigh the, the negatives, I guess. The importance of mental health. Like I stated in the beginning, 25% of Americans show signs of depression. That is 1 in 4 people, which is extremely, extremely common. And it is important to get treatment, so to speak to a medical professional and for them to know that you're doing well. Speak to people who love you and somebody who can tell you what you need to do. And that is all I have for today about depression. I hope you all learned something. And does anybody have any questions? No questions? Okay. Thank you.
Where did you get your research from? You didn't tell us.
It's in the paper, man.
The audience doesn't know that. Right.
It was
that's okay. You don't have to tell us now, but that's what you guys are supposed to do. Just stop it.